As y'all know, Nepal has recently just held its first democratic elections in 3 years. It is in America's interest in helping these developing nations embrace democracy and freedom of the people. Now we're going to open up this press conference to the press and answer any future questions that y'all could possibly have.
Well, sir, I have a question. How do you explain the continual upheaval in Nepal, even after the resignation of the king and the overwhelming victory of the Maoist party in the recent elections?
Well, that's a difficult question because the Nepalese army has been under control of the king, and the king was recently removed from office, and the Nepalese army hasn't said, if they're going to take orders from the leading Maoist party yet. So until we get a confirmation that the Nepalese army is going to take orders from the new Maoist leading faction, I mean, there's really no way that we can enforce any sort of protection of our people or the borders. So, I mean, until we get support of the Nepalese army, it's going to be difficult to stop the insurgent uprisings around the country. So, next question.
Sir, Mr. Bush, what is the United States' plan on a relationship with Nepal while the United States currently has the Maoist guerrillas as a terrorist organization?
Well, as you all know, the United States' stance on terrorism is very firm. We do not condone any terrorist actions in any country, and we have support from the new Maoist leaders that cooperation between our two nations can continue, and we can work together to help fight terrorism in other countries.
Well, Mr. President, I have another question. Does the United States plan on sending foreign aid to Nepal to combat the rampant spread of disease such as Japanese encephalitis and malaria?
Quite simply, the answer to that question is yes. Nepal receives total foreign aid of around $420 million a year, but the United States does plan on sending about $20 million to help Nepal combat these emerging diseases, and well, that's all I have for that answer. So.
Sir Bush, the disputes over contested boundary sections along the southern border with India continue. Is there any end in sight?
Yes, there is end in sight. The Joint Border Commission is continuing to work on these sections of the border. Rebel Maoist insurgents continue to conduct illegal cross-border activities, illicit drug trafficking, and such things are occurring along the border with India, and of course these need to stop. So we will be hopefully in the future working with India to end these contested disputes. So.
Well, there you have it. That was the live press conference of President Bush and the Nepalese leader Prachanda. I think I said that right. And I tell you what, President Bush's vocabulary continues to improve and expand every day, doesn't it, Tina? All right, well, let's go out to Umair with his report on economy and modern conveniences. Umair?
Nepal is among the poorest and least developed countries in the world, with almost one-third of its population living below the poverty line. Agriculture is the mainstay of the economy, providing livelihood for 3/4 of the population and accounting for 38% of GDP. Industrial activity mainly involves the processing of agricultural produce, including jute, sugarcane, tobacco, and grain. It should also be noted that the GDP of Nepal is about $1,550 US, while the GDP of the United States is about $46,000. Nepal is one of the poorest countries in the world and was listed as the 11th poorest among 121 countries in 1980. Well, speaking of economy, Jordan, did you know that the two major concerns in Nepal regarding the lack of modern convenience are phone lines and internet?
I did not know that, Shama. Your name's Umair. I'm sorry. That's a shame. And so is your outfit, by the way. Apparently you thought it was Casual Friday. Someone didn't get the memo.
Ha ha ha. Well, you know what, folks? We'll go into commercial right now. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, and now we're going to head over to Jordan for some environmental issues.
Agriculture dominates Nepal's economy. 79% of the population engages in agriculture, and it accounts for 38% of the GDP. Fertile soils are limited to the Terai region, located here along the southern border, and some of the larger valleys of the Middle Himalayas. In the Terai, the main agricultural region, rice and corn, are the major food crops. Potatoes, oilseed, sugarcane, jute, and tobacco are the cash crops. Livestock raising is second to farming in Nepal's economy. Oxen are raised in the lower valleys, yaks in the higher, and sheep, goats, and poultry can be found everywhere. Most energy consumed comes from traditional sources such as fuel wood, which contributes to deforestation. Tremendous potential exists for hydroelectric power development, but growth is inhibited by terrain, lack of infrastructure, and insufficient capital investment. The country is heavily reliant on India for imported non-renewable sources of power such as oil and kerosene. Natural resources in Nepal are very limited. Low-grade deposits of iron ore are found in the mountains near Kathmandu. Small deposits of copper exist in many areas, and small reserves of mica have been found in the hills northeast of Kathmandu. Mineral extraction and transport is a major problem due to the country's rugged terrain. Sedimentation and overflowing discharges of industrial chemicals are prominent sources of water pollution, and the burning of wood for fuel is a significant source of indoor air pollution and respiratory problems. Vehicular and industrial emissions increasingly have contributed to air pollution in urban areas. Deforestation and land degradation appear to affect a far greater proportion of the population and have the worst consequences for economic growth and individuals' livelihoods. Forest loss has contributed to floods, soil erosion, and stagnant agricultural output. Since the late 1980s, government policies have attempted to address these numerous problems, but policies often have been hampered by lack of funding, insufficient understanding of Nepal's mountain ecosystems, bureaucratic inefficiency, and sometimes contentious relations between the central government and the local communities.
And that's our news, everybody.
Have a great night.
Thanks for joining us.
Cut. Oh, Tina, you're wearing pants now. I liked you better before. Oh man, I gotta get out of here and stretch my legs. Hopefully try and convince Tina to let me buy her a drink, huh? What do you say?
I'm off.
Oh, that's a shame. What about you, pantsless woman?
Where are my pants?
I don't know, but I'm glad you can't find them. I'm just gonna lay down on top of the desk and just roll around. Oh, this is fun. Umair's wearing a dress. I'm on top of the desk of the newsroom.
I'm on top of the world.
Oh, F this flag. I'm getting out of here.